I think, as you said, like every CIO out there is essentially just flooded with requests from the board, implement AI, right? And guess what? Okay, the next question there is like, which use cases? Right? Okay, and the CIOs traditionally, nothing against CIOs. The CIO's main job is to keep the lights on. Okay, keep that in mind, right? If something goes wrong, the S hits the fan, they get accountable for that. So their biases, and I've worked with a lot of CIOs, their bias is like, hey, I'm going to implement this, but you better like do this right. Okay. And they're kind of averse to innovation from that perspective. So you kind of work with them, right? So they are all sitting all with all this money. They have very good knowledge of technology, but they don't have good knowledge of the use cases. So what they do is they go after the business and say, listen, I, let's help you build these systems. And then the whole cycle of kind of, understanding the requirements, etc., starts, which is a long process, right? So our pitch to CIOs is, and they are slowly in the last, and it's funny, in the last 3-4 months, we're seeing this shift where they were kind of like, we can build it. So now they have come to the realization. Sometimes buying makes sense. And what we call is almost like assisted buyout is what we can, buying of this thing is what we can do. So what we do is we accelerate your buying, okay, the buy approach, okay, by bringing in something which is 80% to 90% ready to be deployed. Right. So you ultimately own our agents, you own the whole instance, you control how it's going to be deployed, all that is there. It's just that we are bringing in something which is, you don't need to start, for example, modeling and start them from zero. We already 80-90% there, and we can fine tune the last 10-20% for you. Okay. And that will be custom to you. Okay. And by the over 80-90% over time will get better and better. So you get the benefit of that. Okay. And now you're not going through this whole requirement gathering process, because the entire workflows as well as the use of this is already pre-built in our approach. So that's the story we are going with the CIOs. Limited success, I'll be honest with you, because our audience is primarily business and they love us, okay, because we can just kind of solve the problem. They are pushing the CIOs to make the decisions. So they are still getting used to it. For that, we need to get to a certain scale, which we are trying to get to. But that's kind of but I think eventually, as the mindset of the CIOs changes, that look, we need to embrace these hyper vertical providers who we can leverage to kind of accelerate our deployment cycle. Because ultimately, the board is also asking for, like, you're sending all this money, are you showing me results? Okay, and that's where immediate ROI comes from to them, from just having something which is ready to deploy.